Shalom, Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, GMS, who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim and all four corners of the earth who's pushing the truth of sincerity. Shalom, Akim. I want to get into this article here, man. That was escalating down there on the border of Texas. Right now Texas is in the spotlight heavy, even though we know that's not the only southern border, but it's just a hotbed right now. And because they have a governor down there who's in the media, and he's against, so to speak, for the media, he's against the president that's in power right now. And so a lot of his agendas, he has no problem with disagreeing with them. And right now, that border crisis is something he's disagreeing with them. And now he's getting calls and help from Russia and China. And if you know anything about the history of the United States, then you know that Texas has always been a forefront in the separatist movement from America, as far as just the South and then Texas itself, because these states wanted to succeed. And whenever they talk about civil war, Texas is always one of the states that's always the first one to throw in the mix. We had civil war, in which your history of America. Those were the southern states versus the northern states. Why? Because simple fact, people try to say it was over slavery. Slavery was the money maker of the thing. It had nothing to do with freeing the slaves. That was the biggest lie that the Northern came up with. They were jealous because the South was making more money off the cotton and off the other industries, goods they had coming out of the South. You had ports from the South that went straight to Europe, just like you have on the East Coast, and in the West Coast too as well. But, at the time, the South, they didn't need to go to Washington to deal with the politics and everything. They had everything going on their own. And so America didn't like that. Which, you have to have your whole union together. You can't have anybody trying to do something on their own. But just letting you know the rebellious spirit that Texas always had, going all the way up to what Negroes loved at Juneteenth Day. The slaves were freed at a certain point in American history, and then Texas held on to them, They said, we'll let them go when we feel like letting them go, And I think they didn't let them go until like 1918 or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly, but, they celebrate the holiday. But anywho, back to this article, just giving you a little backdrop about how rebellious Texas is and how, just more and more signs of a house divided, man. This is Mark. I'm going to start at Mark 3:23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And when you think about it, man, Texas all down the board, man, from abortion to a lot of these trans, LGBTQ plus rights and stuff, they're not going for a lot of that stuff, man. And Texas is not the only state, but Texas is just the voice for right now for a lot of these other states that aren't going for it. And when Texas lets out a battle cry, other states like Oklahoma, you had Arizona, these are some of the states that are ready to help, to join and feel the same way, because these are the last strongholds of the good old boys for the most part, man. For the Americans, just hold on to that American dream. I've seen a video of back before this crisis hit a few years ago. It was a simple border, with Issachar just coming across, the Northern Kingdoms coming across, and you seen them good old boys down there, those cowboys, they was like, man, they was terrified. They had all sorts of lights, floodlights and cameras, sensors, mover sensors, all sorts of things. But you can't stop, what the Lord got going on, man, And when the Lord puts a spirit into them people to make movement, they're going to make that move, man. You can't, that's something the devil can't stop, man. You find out the hard way. But, so this kingdom is divided, man. It's very much divided, all for politics, the rights to money being distributed. So right now, a little backdrop also, it's going to add on to the story. It's not in this pure article right here, but I seen it on the news, and I knew it was going to add on to something, because whenever a lot of the times they put stuff in the news, just pay attention to a lot of the things they say. So he says that they said that Biden, they said that DC was going to have stopped buying at RG. Texas has a natural gas that comes through there, and they have companies that's making billions and billions of dollars, and they name them. They named one of their football stadiums after it. It's like RG something. I can't think of the name of the gas company now. It's a natural gas company, and as soon as this article popped out and DC got wind that Texas was talking to Russia and China, they said, okay, well, we're going to halt buying gas from you guys. And so that was so come to find out, U.S. is doing sanctions on their own cities, man. On its own states, I should say. So this is really, really gearing up to be something bigger than what they're showing, and bigger, man. This is going to be real big because, like I'm telling you, so the guy on the Abbott, the governor of Texas, he got on the news and said that you're affecting people's jobs by stopping our flow and putting sanctions on us. So this is not gonna turn out good, man. So they're building up more and more for a civil war, basically, man. So this house is divided. Let me continue. This is Mark 3:25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand, man. And this house is being divided right before our very eyes. And if in Mark 3:26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have and this is why you see some of the enemies of fucking America starting to pick at it. They know what they're doing. It's a strategic move, man. When you see your enemy folding in from the inside, you go ahead and attack, man, from the outside. This Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages, and give him not for his work, man. And America was built on unrighteousness, man. All the way from Remember the Alamo. I watch Westerns. The Lord has put a spirit on me lately to be watching Westerns. And as a kid, I really couldn't stand them. But now it's more about the politics into these Westerns. There's a lot of politics that went into Esau's push west, from the railroad companies to the land state stealing, to the oil that would come back. He would give Gad a little piece of land and then leave and then come back once Gad hit the oil and then just try to kill off and take him for it, man. I go on and on and on, man. But yes, this place has been built by unrighteousness, man. Backdoor dealings, man. Even on his own, man. The devil has been cutthroat to his own. Once again, at the beginning of this video, I talked about the Civil War. America had its own Civil War, So this place is always been, ever since the devil came here, man. Go back to the Jamestown when the devil first landed here. What did he do? He turned around and ate and killed his people the Gadites that were there that it was helping them, man. So he's always had that in his heart, the unrighteousness. And what about the slaves that built this place and didn't get anything, man? Once he built the place, he freed them a little bit later on down the road after the war. And then he called them. He told them after the war, the slaves inherited their land from them landowners, and in America's eyes, like, hell no, you ain't gonna get that land to them niggers. So someone will even promised or worked off the land and own it, and they called them indentured service. You had after slavery, you had something called the what was that called? The Southern Antebellum era. Well, it's a certain particular name for it, but the harsher rules were damn near harder after slavery. I mean, yeah, they were harder. They were harder after slavery than they were during slavery, man. Letting you know how much of a devil this is, and how much you think you're free, and he has all sorts of games he'll play. This is Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, every one into his own country, for the judgment reacheth into heaven and is lifted up even into the skies, man. So this place cannot be healed, man. Babylon cannot be healed, man. The Lord would try to heal it, man, but this can't, man. You know, we're sitting on burial grounds. They build projects on burial grounds where they built where Gad was killed, where Jake was killed, man. Where they had mass hangings, mass killings. People went missing, and they just buried them and had pits where Esau would, have different pits. And then later on, he would sell that land, and people would build houses on it, build communities on these lands. So when you think about a lot of these evil spirits that are roaming around these places, it's not hard to tell, man. It's not hard to figure it out, man. This is devil. This is the devil we're speaking about. This land is defiled. It's jacked up, man. Let me bring that up. This just right there, Leviticus 18 and 25, and the land is defiled, man. Therefore I do visit the iniquity, therefore, upon it. And the land itself vomit out her inhabitants, man. So this place is defiled. It's getting ready to get, there are different steps before this place is destroyed, and we're seeing it happen right before our very eyes, man. So it's a beautiful thing, Lord willing, this is edifying, man. And Lord willing, we continue to put up this good fight for the Lord, man, because we see the Lord's enemies and our enemies falling right before our very eyes. With that being said, I hope this is edifying. Shalom, Maki.